13 signs your aura intimidates people. Carl Jung was right. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Carl Jung. Your aura speaks before you do. It carries the weight of your wisdom, the depth of your self-awareness, and the intensity of your energy. If you've ever noticed people acting nervous around you, pulling away without explanation, or treating you with a mix of awe and uncertainty, this video may reveal why. You might not be too much. You might just be powerfully aligned. Today, on Spiritual Wisdom, we're diving into 13 powerful signs your aura intimidates others, not because you're dangerous, but because you're authentic. As we explore each sign, reflect on how your energy shapes the world around you and how you can own your presence with grace, not guilt. Which one resonates most with you? Share in the comments, and let's start a conversation about the hidden strength within spiritual awakening. 1. A powerful aura exposes others. You don't need to explain yourself because your energy already speaks volumes. You unsettle not because you're loud, but because you're real. You don't perform, you embody. And that embodiment is rare, which is why it rattles those who are still hiding. Your aura doesn't ask for attention. It commands honesty. Carl Jung reminded us that what we deny within ourselves doesn't go away. It surfaces when someone else reflects it. That's what your aura does. You reflect back to others the parts they've buried, denied, or avoided. You shine with spiritual wisdom, and while some will be inspired, others will feel threatened not by you, but by what they see in themselves when you're near. This is why people pull away or react strangely, not because of who you are, but because of who they are not yet ready to become. Your alignment disrupts their confusion. Your truth shakes the lies they still cling to, and your calm presence can feel like a storm in the minds of those still trapped in their masks. But let this be a lesson. You are not responsible for shrinking so others feel tall. You are not here to bend to make others comfortable in their delusion. Your spiritual development has made your energy precise, sharp, clean, and for those tangled in emotional noise, that can feel like judgment. But it is not judgment. It is clarity. And clarity often feels like an attack to those used to chaos. The frequency you hold now is one that reveals. It doesn't flatter, it unveils. It doesn't soothe, it awakens. An awakening isn't gentle. It breaks. It rebuilds. You are no longer participating in the performance. You no longer seek validation or manipulate perception. You are no longer addicted to being liked. You are devoted to being real. And realness is the highest rebellion in a world built on illusion. Some people will crave your energy like oxygen. Others will run from it like fire. But both responses prove its power. Because when you stop chasing, convincing, fixing when you stand in your soul, your aura becomes a mirror that reflects truth. Not everyone is ready to look, but you are not here to be everyone's comfort. You are here to be your own truth. You are no longer just a person in the room. You are the room. You shift the atmosphere by simply being. You walk into a space, and the unseen shifts. Not because you're trying, because you are aligned. That's what spiritual wisdom looks like when it's lived, not spoken, not posted, but embodied. You are now the energy. You are now the presence. And you are now the permission others didn't know they needed to wake up. Some will love you. Some will leave you. But all will feel you. And that is your gift. that is your power. So hold your head high and never apologize for being the storm that clears the air. If you feel this truth in your bones, comment below. I own my authentic energy. Like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the spiritual insight your soul has been waiting for. 2. The aura is your energetic signature. Your aura is the silent force that enters the room before you do. It's not just energy, it's your soul speaking in frequencies. Carl Jung may never have used the word aura, but his understanding of the unconscious mind revealed a profound truth. When your inner world is aligned, your very presence becomes undeniable. It's not about looks, words, or performance. It's about spiritual integration. When your conscious mind no longer resists your shadow, when you've faced your fears, healed your wounds, and chosen wholeness over perfection, you begin to emit something rare, an energetic signature so strong that people feel it in their bones. This is the invisible language of spiritual awakening, the vibration of someone who knows who they are and no longer seeks permission to be. But here's the paradox. This energy doesn't always attract admiration. In fact, it often creates disruption. Not because you're disruptive, but because your truth rattles illusions, your peace agitates chaos, and your self-acceptance exposes insecurities. You're not triggering others by being loud. You're triggering them by being real. Jung called this projection, the unconscious tendency to assign our denied qualities onto others. So when people avoid your eyes, speak nervously, or criticize you without cause, it's often because they're not seeing you. They're seeing themselves, reflected through your clarity. You don't have to do anything wrong to make someone uncomfortable. Your presence alone is a mirror, and not everyone is ready to face their reflection. In the real world, this energetic contrast shows up everywhere. You may find people are drawn to you, yet unsettled. You might intimidate coworkers without trying. Friends may misread your boundaries as arrogance. It's not because you're superior. It's because your vibration reveals what's unhealed in them. And for those who live in denial, that kind of revelation feels like a threat. But your job isn't to shrink. Your role is to understand. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to raise the frequency of the room by being the frequency. You don't lower your light to comfort the dark. You rise, and in doing so, invite others to rise with you. The more spiritually awake you become, the less you feel the need to explain your energy. You stop negotiating your worth in rooms that can't hold your truth. You stop bending your boundaries to keep false peace. You carry your aura like a silent message. I have done the inner work. I have faced my shadows. I walk in alignment. And that alignment speaks louder than any performance ever could. You realize that power doesn't shout. It whispers. It just is. And when you embody that truth, you no longer chase validation. You radiate it. You become a catalyst, not by force, but by frequency. You don't demand respect. You embody it, and you let others decide whether they are ready to meet you where you are. So keep walking in your light. Keep honoring your energy. Let your presence be your statement. And if you're ready to fully own the power of your aura, type it into the universe now. I align my energy. Because the moment you do, the world will begin to rearrange itself around the truth of who you've become. 3. Powerful auras act as mirrors. When your aura is powerful, it doesn't just light up a room, It reveals what others try to hide. Without speaking, you become a mirror, reflecting the emotional states, insecurities, and shadows of those around you. People often mistake this reflection for judgment, when in reality, it's their own unresolved pain rising to the surface. You trigger what's buried, not because you're arrogant or forceful, but because your presence is aligned, grounded, and whole. That alone can be deeply unsettling to anyone still wearing masks. Your energy doesn't lie. It vibrates with truth, and truth makes people uncomfortable, especially those who haven't yet faced theirs. You walk in authenticity, and that makes others second-guess the roles they're playing. It's not about superiority, it's resonance. Energy always communicates before words ever do. That's why some people may feel an instant connection with you, while others pull away, criticize, or become strangely silent in your presence. They're not reacting to you. They're reacting to what their own energy feels when yours enters the space. A powerful aura amplifies. It draws attention not through noise, but through stillness, not through appearance, but through presence. You don't chase approval because your soul is self-validating. You don't seek attention because you've already made peace with solitude. And that quiet confidence can expose people's need for validation, their attachments, their anxieties. This is why your aura often evokes extreme reactions, admiration or resentment, curiosity or avoidance. Either way, you're not neutral. You shift the dynamic simply by being. You didn't wake up with this kind of energy by chance. It was earned. You've gone through darkness, purified your mind, healed your wounds, and taken the long road of inner work. That journey gave you a frequency most haven't yet reached. While others are caught up in surface-level appearances, you radiate from your core. That kind of radiance reveals the emptiness behind performance. And so people either feel inspired to rise or pressured to hide. There's nothing you need to fix. If others feel uneasy around you, that discomfort is their own soul calling them to awaken. Your aura isn't too much, it's just too real. Keep showing up with integrity. Keep walking with quiet power. You're not meant to shrink for the comfort of those avoiding growth. You are the reminder that healing is possible, that wholeness is real, and that light, when it shines without apology, changes everything. If this message resonates with you, subscribe to our channel and stay connected with a community that understands the power of energy and self-awareness. Here, we explore how your presence can reflect truth, heal wounds, and inspire growth. Remember, your aura is not a threat. It's a gift. Keep shining. 4. Individuation creates a disturbing presence. When you fully integrate your shadow and awaken to your true self, you don't become louder. You become undeniable. Carl Jung called this state individuation, the sacred union of all parts of the psyche, both light and dark. It's not something you wear like a badge. It's something you radiate. Your energy no longer seeks validation. It commands respect in silence. You don't need to enter a room to be seen. Your aura gets there first. It's a quiet power, one that doesn't beg for attention, yet draws it like gravity. And while that sounds beautiful, it also comes with an unexpected edge. Your coherence disturbs those who are fragmented, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your wholeness forces them to feel the disconnection within themselves. You are a walking mirror, and not everyone is ready to look. people who hide behind personas, who stitch together their identity from approval and avoidance, will sense something different in you, and it will make them uncomfortable. Your clarity is a confrontation. Your stillness shakes their noise. Your energy, forged from truth, feels like an earthquake beneath their illusions. You may notice this in passive remarks, sudden distance, or unexplained tension. This is not rejection. It's resistance to the frequency you embody. It's not that people don't like you. It's that your presence challenges what they've built to protect their own denial. And so, without trying, you become a disruptor of illusions. In offices, your silence can echo louder than conversation. In social circles, your groundedness feels like rebellion. In family dynamics, your mere existence threatens roles that were never yours to carry. You've stepped into a spiritual awakening where your presence is no longer neutral. It's transformative. You don't push people. Your energy simply reveals where they stand. That's what happens when your soul stops negotiating with your ego. You become a frequency many haven't yet tuned into, and the disharmony is felt. But remember this: your purpose is not to dilute yourself for comfort. You weren't made to harmonize with dysfunction. You were made to stand as a lighthouse in a fog of confusion. Your authenticity may disturb the room, but it also has the power to liberate it. Don't shrink to fit their comfort zone. Expand to match your calling. Your aura now carries the mark of someone who has transmuted pain into wisdom, chaos into clarity. You've done what most only dream of, facing the inner storm and coming out with peace, not pretense. That's why people feel you before they know you. That's why your presence lingers even after you've left. It's not ego, it's energy. And energy doesn't lie. Some will be magnetized to you. Others will recoil. Both reactions are sacred, because your role is not to be liked. Your role is to be true. In that truth, you awaken others not by preaching, but by being. You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be felt. And those who can't handle your wholeness are simply not ready to meet their own. Keep going. You are not too much. You are the storm that clears, the presence that awakens, the embodiment of spiritual wisdom. Comment below. I am whole, and my energy speaks truth. 5. You trigger psychological projection. People with powerful auras don't need to speak loudly to be heard. Their presence alone stirs something deep in others. When your energy is intense, pure, and aligned, it doesn't just light up a space it reflects. It reveals. It exposes. And for many people, that's deeply uncomfortable. This is why you often become the target of projections. You're not the cause of their emotional outbursts, their envy, or their accusations. You're simply the mirror that shows them what they're not ready to see. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." That unconscious material fear, guilt, jealousy needs a trigger to rise to the surface. Your aura is that trigger. People feel your authenticity, your clarity, your calm, and instead of being inspired, they feel threatened. Not because you are harmful, but because they've never truly looked at themselves in that way. And in the presence of your light, their shadows feel exposed. In daily life, this can show up in subtle but draining ways. You might be at work, quietly focused, doing your best, and someone suddenly starts acting passive-aggressively toward you. You haven't done anything wrong, but your presence unsettles them. Why? Because they've spent years hiding behind masks, and you, just by being real, disrupt that comfort. You make them feel things they've buried: inadequacy, insecurity, unresolved guilt. Rather than reflect, they react. Even in close relationships, this dynamic can be painful. You may be loving, steady, and emotionally self-aware, yet your partner begins projecting their wounds onto you. They accuse you of things you've never done. They question your loyalty. They try to make you feel guilty for simply being independent. The truth is, they are struggling to meet you at the level of clarity you're vibrating at. And rather than admit their inner chaos, they blame the peace you embody. When you carry strong, high-frequency energy, you don't just inspire transformation, you provoke it. And transformation is uncomfortable. People may call you too sensitive, too distant, too intense. But none of that is true. What's actually happening is that their subconscious is trying to protect them from the truth you bring too close to the surface. You're not meant to dim your light to soothe those still hiding from theirs. You're not here to carry the emotional projections of others. Your job is to stay aligned, to remember that you're not the cause of their discomfort. You're the invitation to growth they weren't ready for. Stay centered. Don't internalize their storms. And don't confuse their fear with your fault. When you walk into a room and people shift, when you speak and others feel exposed, when you love deeply and others push you away, it's not your fault. It's your power. A powerful aura disrupts illusions. It triggers unconscious patterns. And while not everyone will appreciate it, those who are ready to awaken will never forget it. 6. Your energy elicits intense reactions from strangers. When your energy field is strong, it doesn't ask for attention, it demands a reaction. You may notice that strangers either open up to you instantly or become uncomfortable in your presence. This isn't random. It's the invisible impact of your vibration interacting with their subconscious mind. Your aura, which carries the emotional and spiritual resonance of who you truly are, stirs up the emotions others haven't yet dealt with. They don't know why they feel exposed or unsettled around you. But it's because your frequency naturally brings the hidden to light. Many people live behind emotional masks, unaware of how much they've suppressed. Then you walk into the room, calm, authentic, whole, and suddenly their defenses shake. Some are drawn to you, pulled by a deep sense of safety, as if your energy gives them permission to be real. Others, however, may act defensive or cold because your presence reminds them of everything they've buried. Their reaction has little to do with you, and everything to do with what your energy reflects back to them. Your vibration acts as a mirror, one that reveals what they're not ready to see. Carl Jung understood this deeply. He wrote, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul. Your aura, however, confronts them with their soul without saying a word. That's why you've had random conversations where people confided in you as if they'd known you forever. That's also why some people respond with sudden irritation or judgment. Your spiritual field doesn't just comfort, it awakens. An awakening is rarely a comfortable process. You carry the weight of presence. Not everyone is ready to feel it. Your energy pierces through superficial interactions and reaches something ancient and real in people. For some, that's healing. For others, it's terrifying. And yet, It's not your job to dim your light, to protect others from their own shadows. Your only responsibility is to continue embodying truth, even when truth disturbs the room. This is the burden and the blessing of having a powerful aura. You'll walk through the world awakening reactions that have nothing to do with your words or actions and everything to do with your energy. The more aligned and whole you become, the more you'll trigger what's unaligned and fragmented in others. It's not personal, it's spiritual. The stronger your light, the more it exposes. That's the unspoken impact of powerful energy. It liberates some and rattles others. Either way, it leaves no soul untouched. Comment below. My energy awakens truth if you've noticed how strangers react deeply to your presence. Your aura isn't random. It's a mirror to the soul. If this resonates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss more insights like this. 7. You're labeled too intense or misunderstood. People who live on the surface often find emotional depth confusing, even threatening. They may say you're too serious, too intense, or too much when in truth, what they're reacting to is your energetic presence, your inner clarity, your spiritual resonance. You carry emotional and spiritual frequencies that confront the unconscious parts of others. You stir something they've spent years suppressing. You don't just speak from the mind, you speak from the soul. And that makes people feel naked, exposed, and unsure around you. This reaction isn't about your behavior, it's about your essence. Your aura, the energetic field surrounding you, holds your emotional truth. It is shaped by your self-awareness, your healing, your shadow work, and your courage to be real in a world obsessed with appearances. Most people haven't met themselves in silence, haven't sat with their grief, their rage, their longing. So when you walk into the room radiating authenticity, they feel it, and for many, it's too much. It triggers shame, fear, jealousy, or confusion they don't know how to name. So instead, they blame your intensity. You've been forged by fire spiritually, emotionally, energetically. You've gone through things that shattered you, and instead of hiding the cracks, you let the light pour through them. You carry truth in your voice and purpose in your eyes. And that makes you magnetic, but also polarizing, because your presence invites people to either rise or retreat. Some will be drawn to your energy like a lifeline. Others will resent it because it reminds them of everything they've buried. Your depth disrupts the illusion of normal. In a world that rewards superficiality, distraction, and emotional detachment, your clarity is radical. You listen differently. You love differently. You ask questions that pierce the veil of denial. You see what people try to hide, and you don't play along with the game. And while some people will find healing in your presence, others will call you dramatic, overwhelming, or too deep, simply because you don't give them the option to stay asleep. There is a sacred discomfort you bring, and that is your gift. Your emotional energy isn't chaotic, it's alive. It vibrates with sincerity and purpose. You weren't made to be small. You weren't designed to be tolerated. You were born to activate truth in the people around you, even if that truth makes them flinch. Your aura challenges the masks others wear. It reflects what they're not ready to face. And that reflection can feel like pressure, when in reality, it's an invitation. You've never been too much. You've just been around too many people who settled for too little. They weren't prepared to witness someone who feels so deeply, loves so fiercely, and sees so clearly. But that doesn't mean you need to change. It means you need to remember who you are and stand firmly in that power, not to prove anything, but to live freely, fully, and awake. If you've ever been called too intense or misunderstood for simply being deep and authentic, you're not alone. Comment, "I resonate with this," if you felt this way. Or, "Not my experience," if you see it differently. Your voice matters. Let's talk about it in the comments. 8. You shift the atmosphere instantly. Your aura enters the room before you do. It's not imagination. It's an energetic truth. You carry a frequency that either lifts the space or shakes it to the core, depending on the emotional state of those around you. This shift is immediate, undeniable, and deeply felt by both the conscious and unconscious mind. When your aura is powerful, it doesn't just complement a space, it alters it. That alteration might bring clarity and peace, or it might provoke discomfort and resistance. But either way, it never leaves things the same. You've likely experienced moments where people stared at you without knowing why, or suddenly changed their behavior once you walked in. That's not about your appearance. It's your energy field stirring their emotional waters. People who have unresolved chaos within them feel exposed around you because your presence highlights the imbalance they carry. You aren't trying to confront anyone. Your alignment simply reflects what they've been avoiding. Your stillness triggers their noise. Even animals and children respond to this energy. A dog might approach you with deep calm or run off with anxiety, sensing your frequency. Children, with their intuitive purity, often become fixated on you or strangely shy, not because of who you are on the surface, but because they feel the soul-level charge your aura emits. They sense truth in a world often cluttered with masks. In modern life, this power can be misunderstood. A woman named Maya once shared that in every workplace she entered, the atmosphere shifted. Colleagues would either open up emotionally within minutes or begin to distance themselves for no clear reason. She began to wonder if something was wrong with her. But in time, she realized the truth. Her energy was a mirror. It reflected the unresolved in others, not because she was trying to, but because she lived in deep inner alignment. That level of coherence made others feel their own fragmentation more clearly. Your aura is a field of influence. It communicates more loudly than words ever could. You don't have to try to be noticed, you are noticed. Not because you want attention, but because your energy commands it. And that command comes not from ego, but from authenticity. When you are whole within yourself, you create tension for those who are split between their truth and their persona. This is not your fault. It's the natural consequence of becoming someone who no longer hides. You shift the atmosphere not by doing, but by being. Your energy is a catalyst. Let it be. Don't dim it to fit into emotionally stagnant rooms. Don't shrink it to soothe discomfort. If your aura disturbs the room, maybe the room needed to be disturbed. If you're still tuned in, comment below, "I shift energy," to let us know you're feeling this truth. Your voice helps us grow this space of awareness and light. 9. People confide in you, unintentionally. People open up to you without warning. They share things they've kept hidden for years. Their regrets, wounds, private stories, and suppressed emotions. You don't ask for it, yet they pour it out. This isn't a coincidence. Your aura creates a field of safety, a silent invitation that tells people, you're safe here. They feel seen in your presence, not judged. You don't just hear them, you feel them. And in a world where most people are starving for emotional safety, your energy becomes their refuge. Carl Jung once said, knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darkness of other people. That's exactly what you radiate. People trust you because whether you speak it or not, your energy carries the wisdom of survival. You've walked through your own shadows, and that silent knowing draws others in. Your aura doesn't just glow, it mirrors truth. It tells people, it's okay to feel. It's okay to heal. And so, without understanding why, they tell you everything. But what they don't realize is that this gift can become a burden. You're left holding the weight of stories that aren't yours. People leave lighter, while you walk away heavier. It's subtle at first, a little fatigue, a little brain fog, the quiet pressure of being too emotionally full. Then one day, you realize you've become everyone's healer, yet no one knows when you're hurting. That's why energetic boundaries aren't just helpful, they're essential. Being kind doesn't mean being a container for other people's pain. Just because someone opens up doesn't mean you're meant to carry it. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can say is, I hear you, but I'm not in a space to take this on right now. You're not rejecting them. You're protecting yourself. You must also tend to your energetic hygiene. Cleanse your space. Cleanse your spirit. Whether that's through deep breathing, prayer, journaling, or simply being alone in silence, do whatever reconnects you to your own center. Your aura is your energetic signature, and just like your body, it needs rest, protection, and renewal. Being a space of emotional safety is sacred, but it must be balanced with self-respect. You are not here to absorb everyone's emotional chaos. You are here to guide, to reflect, and to stand in your power. You don't have to dim your light, but you do have to guard the flame. Have people ever opened up to you out of nowhere, as if your presence gave them permission to be real? If you've experienced this, share your story in the comments so others can relate and learn. If not, comment, I am open to understanding, to begin recognizing the quiet power your energy holds. 10. You naturally repel the superficial. People who are deeply attached to surface-level validation often feel uneasy around you, not because you are unkind, but because your energy doesn't play by the same rules. You don't flatter, you don't perform, and you don't conform just to make others comfortable. Your authenticity becomes a silent confrontation. It holds up a mirror, one that reflects the hollowness of pretenses and the fragility of false identities. This is why those who live for appearances or hide behind polished masks either avoid you or try to reduce you by calling you intense, serious, or boring. They may not understand it consciously, but your presence makes them feel seen in a way they aren't ready for. You don't engage in shallow talk for the sake of fitting in, and you don't inflate your personality to gain approval. That alone disorients people who rely on external validation for their sense of self. They might gossip, overcompensate with charm, or constantly seek attention, but none of that moves you. Your stillness, your grounded nature, it unsettles them because it exposes how noisy and disconnected they truly feel inside. They may try to label your depth as a flaw, but it's not. It's a sign of coherence. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And you are living that truth, whether others can understand it or not. You don't repel people because of negativity. You repel superficiality because your vibration demands truth. You unconsciously remind people of what they've buried, their silence, their unresolved wounds, their forgotten desires for real connection. This is why, even in crowds, you often stand alone. Not because you are lonely, but because your spirit refuses to settle for anything less than real. You may feel isolated at times, but that isolation is sacred. It means your soul is choosing quality over quantity, depth over noise, truth over convenience. You're not here to entertain illusions. You're here to awaken energy. And that awakening will always trigger something in others. Admiration in the ready. Resistance in the unready. Spiritual wisdom reminds us that your aura is not just a presence, it's a purifier. It moves through spaces and cleanses what is fake, what is performative, what is hollow. You don't have to speak to make a shift happen. Your being already speaks for you. And in a world drowning in distraction, your authenticity is a rare medicine. It's no wonder some people can't handle it. You're not too much. You're just living in alignment, and that is always disruptive to those who aren't. If you've ever been called too real or felt isolated for simply being yourself, this message is for you. Comment below. I choose truth over appearances. If you're ready to honor your authenticity and walk boldly in your light. Let's rise together, one soul, one truth at a time. 11. You energize or drain others based on their vibration. Some people feel energized in your presence, as if their spirits have been gently lifted just by being near you. Others, however, feel uncomfortable, irritated, or even drained, and it has nothing to do with what you say. It's your aura. Your energy field interacts directly with theirs, exposing emotional tension, repressed wounds, or unresolved thoughts. This energetic reaction isn't personal. It's vibrational. When someone is grounded and aligned, they receive your presence like healing sunlight. But when someone is fragmented or hiding behind defense mechanisms, your light becomes a mirror, and they may flinch at their own reflection. Carl Jung's concept of psychic interaction explains this invisible yet powerful exchange. He believed that people constantly project unconscious material onto others, and that deeper personalities like yours tend to attract stronger projections. Your aura doesn't just exist, it communicates. It speaks directly to the unspoken, stirring truth in others, even if they aren't ready to hear it. That's why people sometimes misunderstand you or retreat from your presence. You are not just a person to them. You are a trigger, a spotlight, a spiritual wake-up call. Think of those times when someone told you they felt peaceful around you, as if a weight had lifted, even though you barely spoke. That's not coincidence. It's a testament to your frequency. But also think about when you walked into a room and immediately felt drained. Maybe your body tensed up, your mood shifted, or you sensed hostility without reason. That wasn't just intuition. It was your energetic boundaries being tested. You absorb what's around you more deeply than others, and your body responds before your mind even knows why. In the workplace, your calm confidence may be seen as a threat to those fueled by competition and control. They may act cold, passive-aggressive, or overly critical, not because you're wrong, but because your presence unsettles their masks. Your steadiness makes their inner chaos louder. Your honesty makes their avoidance harder. And your compassion highlights their disconnect. That's why the same aura that uplifts one person might disturb another. You don't change, but their reaction does, based on their level of inner harmony. This dynamic is not something you need to fix. It's something you must understand. When your aura is strong and integrated, it becomes a tuning fork for truth. Those attuned to love, growth, and integrity will resonate with you. Those clinging to illusions, ego, and denial will resist you. Both are reflections, not judgments. Your role is not to dim your energy to be accepted. Your role is to discern, to choose wisely who gets access to your presence and who doesn't. When someone tells you that you're too much, it often means your authenticity demands a level of self-honesty they're not ready for. When someone says they feel calm just being near you, it's because their soul recognizes yours. You are the energetic mirror, the amplifier, the quiet force that reveals what's hidden, and that power is sacred. Protect it. 12. You're a magnet for toxic people without boundaries. Toxic or narcissistic people don't just stumble into your life by accident. They are often drawn in by the rare frequency your energy radiates. There is something magnetic about your integrated aura, something steady and whole that they subconsciously crave. These individuals, who haven't done the inner work to heal or evolve, are instinctively attracted to your light, not because they respect it, but because they want to consume it. They see in you what they are unwilling to cultivate within themselves: self-awareness, emotional strength, and spiritual harmony. Your aura acts like a beacon. It doesn't scream for attention, but its authenticity speaks volumes in a world full of facades. That's why people come to you with their problems, their emotional messes, their unresolved traumas. Without realizing it, you become their healer, their counselor, their emotional sponge. But the danger here is subtle. When your boundaries aren't firm, your compassion can quickly turn into self-sacrifice. You give, they take. You listen, they unload. You soothe, they depend. And somewhere in that cycle, your energy begins to fray at the edges. This dynamic is not about blame, it's about awareness. As Carl Jung once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. So instead of turning inward, toxic people reach outward to you. They want access to your energy without earning the wisdom that created it. They want the fruit, not the roots. And if you're not mindful, their chaos becomes your confusion. You start to wonder why your presence stirs up intensity in others, why people either cling to you or lash out without provocation. The answer lies in your frequency. Your aura is a mirror, and for many, what they see reflected is the truth they've long avoided. Your stability highlights their instability. Your peace confronts their inner storm. Your light exposes their shadows. And so, without boundaries, you become a magnet for the emotionally unhealed. They don't want to grow. They want to be carried. They don't want to rise. They want to feed. And while empathy is one of your greatest gifts, it must be paired with discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your sacred space. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. And love without limits is not love, it's depletion. In the real world, this shows up in small but relentless ways. You're the one people vent to, but rarely ask about. You're the friend who gives advice but has no one to turn to. You're the employee who holds the emotional weight of the team, even if no one says it out loud. And when you begin to set boundaries, you notice who respects your space and who tries to push past it. That's the difference between connection and control. Your powerful aura is not a weakness, it's a responsibility. And just as a flame must be protected from the wind to keep burning, your energy must be guarded from those who only want its warmth, but not its source. True power lies not in being available to everyone, but in being fully present for yourself. To affirm your awareness and energetic boundaries, comment below, "I protect my peace." Your words might be the reminder someone else needs today to stand strong in their light. 13. Your aura is a sacred responsibility, not a trophy. A powerful aura is not a trophy to be polished and shown off. It is the visible evidence of deep inner work, emotional maturity, and spiritual integrity. It means you've walked through fire without losing your softness. You've learned the value of silence, the necessity of solitude, and the sacredness of saying no. Carl Jung emphasized that transformation doesn't come from imagining light, but from making the darkness conscious. Your aura reflects how much of that darkness you've faced, integrated and transmuted into strength, presence, and stillness. Your energy doesn't just light up a room, it shifts it. People can feel your frequency before you speak. Some are drawn to it like a lighthouse in a storm. Others are unsettled, even repelled, because your very presence confronts what they've buried. You don't need to speak for your aura to speak for you. But this isn't about power or dominance. It's about clarity. And clarity is disruptive to confusion. The clearer you are within yourself, the more sharply you reflect the illusions around you. That's why you feel misunderstood. That's why strangers react strongly to your presence. You're not being judged, you're being felt. This sacred frequency you carry is not for everyone. It's for those ready to remember who they are. Your aura acts as a mirror one that reflects not only beauty, but also buried pain. Some people project their unhealed wounds onto you. They don't even know why, but being around you makes them feel exposed. This is not your fault. It's your function. You're not here to fix them. You're not here to rescue. You're here to be a living vibration that stirs souls awake. That is the role of a true light bearer. Not to heal on command, but to embody wholeness so fully that healing becomes contagious. Because your aura is so potent, boundaries are not optional. They're sacred. You are the gatekeeper of your energy. Not everyone deserves access. Just like a temple is protected, so too must your energetic field be. That doesn't make you harsh, it makes you wise. Spiritual maturity means recognizing that being available to everyone can dilute your purpose. You weren't meant to be everywhere, for everyone, all the time. Your time, your space, your essence, they are offerings. And offerings are sacred because they're rare, intentional, and aligned. The more integrated you are, the more people will mistake you for being too much, too deep, too quiet, too intense. But that's not your burden to carry. The discomfort they feel is not your responsibility to resolve. It is a reflection of their own fragmentation. You didn't cause it, you revealed it. Let them call it whatever they need to. Your job is not to shrink into something safer. Your job is to remain in your truth. This is what it means to live with a powerful aura, not to be admired, but to be unshakable, not to impress, but to embody. not to shine above, but to awaken within. As we uncover the 13 signs of a powerful aura, let this be more than just insight. Let it be a mirror to your inner strength. Your presence here means you're not afraid of your light. Comment below. My aura speaks before I do, to affirm your power and inspire others on the same path. Let's continue this journey together. And remember, the power of your aura isn't something you need to shrink for others to feel comfortable. It's something you were born to embody fully. If what you've heard today stirred something deep within you, it's not by accident. Your energy speaks louder than words, and those who are meant for you will feel it, not fear it. If you found value in this message, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. And turn on notifications so you'll never miss an insight that could change your life. Your journey to deeper spiritual awakening is just beginning. The true meaning of your birth month will change your entire life. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Have you ever wondered why you were born in a specific month? What if your birth month holds a hidden spiritual blueprint meant to guide your purpose, patterns, and potential? In today's video, from Spiritual Wisdom, we're unlocking the symbolic meaning behind your birth month, not through superstition, but through Jungian insight into the collective unconscious. These truths could radically shift how you see yourself and your journey. As you listen, reflect on how these patterns show up in your life, and if something resonates, share your birth month and thoughts in the comments below. Let's explore the deeper meaning together. 1. Your birth month is symbolic, not random. Carl Jung believed that nothing about our existence is truly accidental, and that includes the moment we enter this world. Your birth month is not just a line on a calendar or a bureaucratic timestamp. It is a symbolic imprint of what Jung would call an archetypal signature woven into your soul by the unconscious forces that guide the rhythms of life. In Jungian psychology, archetypes are not mere abstract ideas. They are living patterns, ancient codes residing in the collective unconscious that shape how we think, feel, and evolve. When you were born, the world was holding a particular energetic frequency, a spiritual atmosphere that whispered a message into your being, one that would echo through your thoughts, instincts, and choices for the rest of your life. This is not superstition, it is symbolic truth. The month you were born into carries metaphysical weight, a soulful tone that resonates through your inner world, influencing the myths you identify with, the struggles you face, and the kind of legacy you're here to build. It's not about predicting your fate, but about recognizing your soul's original pattern. Jung taught that behind every conscious life is an unconscious myth trying to be lived out, and your birth month is the gateway to understanding that myth. This is why certain challenges repeat, why certain desires feel unshakable, and why you are drawn to specific roles in life. It's not coincidence, it's alignment with a symbolic script encoded in time. Becoming aware of this sacred timing doesn't limit you, it liberates you. It reminds you that your life has always had meaning, even in the chaos. The timing of your arrival, your first breath, was orchestrated by something beyond intellect, beyond logic, yet deeply intelligent. And when you begin to explore the energy that your birth month carries, not through surface-level horoscopes, But through the symbolic lens Jung offered, you begin to recover the lost map of your soul. You see, your life isn't just unfolding randomly. It is speaking in symbols, and your birth month is one of the clearest symbols of all. To honor it is to honor the deep mystery of your becoming. Are you ready to unlock the deeper meaning behind your soul's arrival time? If so, comment below. I embrace my soul code to affirm your commitment to spiritual self-discovery. 2. Each birth month embodies a unique archetype. Each birth month, as Carl Jung's wisdom suggests, holds a unique archetypal energy, a psychological and spiritual imprint that speaks not only to the way you move through the world, but to the ancient story your soul came here to tell. January births often carry the soul of a wise elder, even when young. You are reflective and grounded, driven not by trends, but by legacy. You are the builders of lasting foundations, people who think decades ahead and quietly create systems that others will one day depend on. February. Souls are rebels with vision outsiders in the best sense. You often see through illusions that others accept as truth. And while this may lead to isolation, it's your gift. You are the innovators, inventors, and truth speakers who challenge the status quo, even if the world isn't ready. March births embody emotional depth and soul alchemy. You are the phoenix, the one who rises, falls, and rises again with even more grace. Your feelings run oceans deep, but through every heartbreak and trial, you emerge more whole, more luminous. You don't just survive, you transform. Those born in April come with fire. You are protectors, warriors of light, and fierce initiators of change. You might speak too loudly or act too quickly, but your passion shakes people awake. You remind the world what it means to feel alive. May births are slow magic. You nurture what you love with patience and care. You value beauty, not the shallow kind, but the kind that feeds the spirit. Art, nature, and a sense of home. You move through life like a gardener, tending not just to flowers, but to souls. June births are the gifted communicators. You hold the rare ability to translate emotion into language, to express the unspoken, and to help others feel seen. You bridge heart and mind, spirit and science, logic and empathy. July souls are deeply intuitive empaths, often carrying emotional patterns from family lines that stretch far beyond your own lifetime. You may feel the weight of generations on your shoulders, but your healing journey liberates not just yourself, but your ancestors. August-born individuals embody quiet royalty. You do not seek power. It radiates from your authenticity. You walk with confidence, grace, and a soul-led purpose that naturally draws others toward you. You're not here to dominate. You're here to guide. September births are natural healers. You bring order to emotional and spiritual chaos. Where others see confusion, you see structure. Where others fall apart, you help realign. Your presence calms storms, not by force, but by clarity. October souls are harmonizers. You sense the unspoken tensions in a room and instinctively seek balance. You bring people together, ease conflict, and strive for fairness. But your journey is to learn how to create peace within without losing yourself in the process. November births carry the mark of the spiritual alchemist. You are here to turn pain into gold, sorrow into wisdom. You feel life intensely, every joy, every betrayal, but your ability to transmute darkness into light is what makes you unforgettable. You are a transformation in motion. December births are the dreamers, the philosophers, the seekers of meaning in a world that often rushes past the sacred. You hold myth in your bones and vision in your eyes. Whether through art, teaching, or deep reflection, you offer the world a sense of timeless truth that doesn't come from logic. It comes from the soul. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." This teaching echoes through every archetype born from these months. Each of you is not just a person. You are a mirror of a deeper force trying to become conscious in the world. In everyday life, you can see these archetypes everywhere. A quiet artist born in March who turns personal grief into music that heals millions. Or a thoughtful nurse born in September whose very presence makes patients feel safe. These are not coincidences. These are soul codes. Your birth month holds sacred insight, not to box you in, but to remind you of what you've always carried. The true power of Carl Jung's work lies not in naming traits, but in awakening awareness, helping you realize that your emotions, instincts, and dreams are not random. They are the language of your soul. And when you learn to read them, when you finally stop trying to be someone else and instead lean into your original blueprint, life starts to align. Challenges become callings, emotions become guides, and every experience becomes part of your soul's great myth. So if you've ever wondered why you feel the way you do, why certain patterns follow you, why you resonate with specific truths, it may be time to look deeper, not just into your history, but into your symbolic birthright. Your month of birth is not a label. It's a key. Use it. As we explore the archetypal blueprint of each birth month, take a moment to reflect on the energies that shaped your soul. If you recognize yourself in these patterns, affirm your journey by commenting, "I embrace my birth month archetype." Your presence here shows a commitment to deeper self-understanding. Let's continue walking this path of spiritual discovery together. 3. Your birth month is a spiritual mirror. Your birth month is not a random date marked by chance. It's a spiritual mirror reflecting the hidden architecture of your soul. Carl Jung believed that the outer world mirrors the inner world, and nowhere is that more personal than the moment you entered this life. Your birth month carries a symbolic energy, a silent spiritual code that whispers truths about your emotional patterns, your unconscious motives, your strengths, your wounds, and your deepest calling. This isn't about astrology in the commercial sense, and it has nothing to do with superstition. It's about decoding the archetypal energy that shaped the gateway through which your soul chose to arrive. Each month holds a mythic vibration, an energy that imprints itself on your spiritual identity. Jung taught that these archetypes live in the collective unconscious, timeless and shared, but expressed uniquely through each individual. That means your birth month is not just a time on a calendar. It is a myth your soul is living out. When you begin to explore this, everything starts to make sense. Your struggles are no longer seen as flaws, but as invitations to evolve. Maybe you've always felt a pull toward protecting others, teaching, creating, healing, or leading. That pull likely isn't random. It's part of your symbolic blueprint. Someone born in June may carry the essence of the communicator, the lover, the one who brings ideas to life and relationships to truth. Meanwhile, a person born in November might feel a deeper connection to transformation, mystery, or spiritual death and rebirth, experiencing cycles of destruction and renewal as part of their path. These patterns don't define you, but they do guide you, offering insight into the energies you're here to master, express, and balance. It's like walking through life with a compass you didn't even know you had until you stopped to look within. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you begin to ask, "What is my soul trying to express through this pattern?" That shift is the beginning of true spiritual awareness. It opens a door to healing that is not based on fixing, but on remembering. Remembering that your journey has been sacred all along, even the hard parts, even the confusion. When you accept the symbolic nature of your birth, you reconnect with the divine intelligence that placed you here, in this moment, for a reason. Jung didn't teach people to follow rules. He taught people to listen to their inner voice, to dialogue with the unconscious, and to understand the symbols that speak in silence. Your birth month is one of those symbols. When read with depth and intention, it reveals the story your soul came to live not in theory, but in the real, raw, emotional truth of daily life. This spiritual insight doesn't ask you to change who you are. It asks you to come home to who you've always been, beneath the noise, the conditioning, and the confusion. It reminds you that your life is not an accident, but a masterpiece in motion. Your birth month is not the whole story, but it's a sacred chapter, written in spiritual ink, waiting for you to read it. If this reflection spoke to your soul, consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell. Your journey into deeper self-understanding and spiritual insight begins here, and it continues with every video we share. 4. Seek wholeness, not answers. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Your birth month is not just a date printed on your ID, it's a spiritual symbol that speaks the silent language of your soul. Jung didn't see life as a series of coincidences. He believed everything carried meaning, especially the symbols we're born under. Your birth month is one of those symbols. Not random, not decorative, but a sacred code that reveals something profound about the internal architecture of who you are. You weren't born in March or August. By chance, your soul chose that timing to carry a specific vibration into this world. And once you stop brushing that off as mere astrology or superstition and start listening with Jungian ears, you begin to see that this so-called detail may be a compass pointing you back to your forgotten self. This isn't about predicting your future. It's about reclaiming what already lives in your psychological DNA. Each birth month carries a unique archetypal essence energies rooted in collective unconscious patterns that shape your inner narrative. Were you born in December? Then your soul might be drawn to wisdom, closure, legacy. July? You may carry the nurturer archetype, fiercely protective and deeply emotional. But it goes deeper than traits. This is about understanding your life's myth, the story your unconscious has been trying to tell you since you were a child. Jung taught that healing isn't about fixing broken pieces, but about integrating all parts of the self. That includes the parts buried under years of social conditioning, your intuition, your pain, your fire, your sensitivity. The deeper message of your birth month is a mirror, inviting you to stop pretending, stop chasing, and start remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Most men spend their lives running on external scripts, success, power, and control, rarely pausing to ask, what does my soul actually need? They're celebrated for being providers, leaders, achievers, but punished for being reflective, emotional, or intuitive. Yet those so-called soft traits are precisely where true power lies. Jung's work calls you to stop intellectualizing your way through life and start embodying the truth of your own existence. Your birth month is a spiritual breadcrumb. A starting point for the journey of individuation is the path toward wholeness, not perfection. And if you ignore these symbols, you don't escape their influence. You just live blind to them. You repeat patterns. You feel stuck. You overachieve and still feel empty. Because the soul does not care about status, it cares about alignment. And alignment only happens when you stop treating your life like a project to optimize and start treating it like a mystery to live fully. Understanding the hidden message behind your birth month doesn't give you control over life. It gives you context. It helps you realize that your struggles aren't random, your gifts aren't accidents, and your desires aren't shameful. They are reflections of a deeper inner design. When you start honoring the symbols life gave you, you stop forcing the wrong story and begin aligning with the one that was always yours. This is not about changing who you are. It's about becoming who you've always been at the soul level, before fear, before noise, before compromise. Your birth month carries keys to that version of you, waiting patiently for you to look inward and listen. To affirm your dedication to seeking wholeness, not just answers, declare your commitment. Comment below, "I choose wholeness," to honor your inner journey and to inspire others to explore the deeper meaning life is offering them. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden meaning of your birth month through the lens of Carl Jung. Remember, your birth month isn't just a date. It's a doorway to deeper self-awareness, a spiritual code waiting to be unlocked. If today's message sparked something within you, imagine what more you could discover by staying on this journey with us. If you found value in this video, please share it with someone who needs this insight, and subscribe to Spiritual Wisdom. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of truth and transformation in our upcoming videos. Your soul's journey is just beginning.